Another job I'm going to do is take out this starter switch. I have it loosened there now. I'm going to take off the wires and see why it's not making a connection across it. Could just be a bit of dirt. I know that the high-low lever is meant to, when it's in neutral, is meant to select that switch, is meant to push something up to make the connection. So let's take it out and have a look. So this is the starter switch. And what happens is when the high-low gear selector is in neutral, it pushes a little rod up and it hits this, and that's meant to make a connection. And then that sends power from your battery to your key, so that when you turn the ignition on and you twist the key, the first position there, it should send power to the solenoid. So I'm going to press in this connection here and put it in the device and get a multimeter and check across there to see is it actually making a connection. That's the continuity test, and when you run it across the switch there, it isn't making that sound. So I'm going to open that up and see what's happening inside. There's a little slot in there. This is an original part, so it's good quality. Now I would imagine when I open this up, I should be able to clean up connections and get continuity across them. In other words, get current flowing across them. And this is what's to be found inside. A lot of corrosion. So I might have to strip things down a little bit further. I can buy these new, but if I can get this old one working, I way prefer that. This is the next bit in the puzzle. So now I see what happens. These connections are meant to be slightly bent. Give a bit of a spring, help connect. And I have a feeling that spring is meant to actually be springy. It's fairly solid. So firstly I'm going to have to clean these connections and get continuity across them. When I can get continuity across them, this part then is functional. So I can put that to one side. Then we have to work on this lad here and see what brings the power. So I presume there's metal connections there. Yeah, so that's all going to have to get cleaned up. Right, let's do that. I've moved over to the small vise. I've brought out the Dremel and I'm going to pick some of these cleaning heads. Some of them are actually plastic and some of them are little mini wire brushes, so I think the likes of that plastic one there, that might just do the trick, just to clean it up first, and if I have to move towards the light wire brush heads, I'll do that. So this is everything stripped down. I gave this a very quick run in the shop after because it was very badly rusty. This is after cleaning up fairly well. I used a little detail file and I just cleaned up the connections there. There's 3 each side there that make a connection across these. One of them on the left there, as you can see, is a little bit broken, but I checked for continuity between the rivet there, the brass rivet, and the copper connection. So I think the copper connection goes underneath that kind of a half moon shaped bit of metal, so it doesn't really matter too much that's broken off. It doesn't seem to. I took out the grub screws and I cleaned below those brass connections there. I cleaned them with a detail file as well. So what I'm going to do is put it back together, put it in the vise, and I'm going to check it for continuity and see is it working. So I have the voltmeter hooked up, the grub screws are tightened down, and when I press this now, if it's working, there'll be a beeping sound. And 00 is basically full continuity, so full connection. Press it again. So I didn't think this was going to be a salvageable piece, but it's starting to look like it might just be. So I've just got to tap in those tabs a little bit more, just because it's not perfectly steady at the moment. So I'll do that and I'll fit it to the tractor and do the same test with the gear lever. So the same test now with the wires attached. Now I only have them loose there, I haven't tightened it down. And then when we put it into high or low gear, it stops. Put it back into neutral. That's good, 000. is perfect. So that job is done. So now what I can do is I can remove that yellow wire. That yellow wire that was going here. And I should be able to use the one that's in the loom in the back there. And I'll just have to take out the key. And I'll have to take out the key and work out, take off the yellow wire and put on the proper wire and see what way it's meant to go. But yeah, it should be very doable with the multimeter. I'll be able to check and see where power is going and what everything's doing.